Hi everybody, it's Jim. It's Song Tripping. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I hope you become a subscriber. Anyway, in my last video I mentioned this West German Target CD of Genesis Abacab, and I said on that video I wanted to do a shootout, a digital shootout, and that's what I'm doing today. So we have three CDs contesting against one another. The West German Target CD, the definitive edition remaster from the 1990s, and the 2007 remix remaster. And yeah, I'm not going to compare the vinyl. Maybe the winner of this shootout I will compare to the vinyl at some point, but this is a digital only shootout, and I'm not including streams for this either. So I also am including a little listening test. I hope it clears the copyright filter, and you'll be able to hear about a 30-second snippet of no reply at all, and you can compare the three CDs for yourself, and I'll give you some general impressions. But first, some background on the album itself. 1981, Genesis is really going in a pop direction by this point in their career. They had a lot of success with the Duke album, and they had some breakthrough hits like Turn It On Again and Misunderstanding and so forth. And I think by this point, Phil Collins had launched his solo career, and he was working with the Earth, Wind and Fire's horn section. Face Value was his first solo album, and by far his best solo album. And so you can hear that influence on Abacab. And of course, they're down to a trio ever since and then there were three albums. It's just been Tony Banks, Mike Rutherford, and Phil Collins. But I think they're in fine form on Abacab. They, it's an album that I got as a Christmas present from a neighbor in when I was high school. I probably was a senior, going into my senior year in high school. I was in my senior year, and I think it came out in late 1981. I graduated in 1982 from high school, and I listened to the album a lot. Like, I just really enjoyed it. And there were a lot of radio hits on this album. Abacab, of course, was that kind of like heavy throbbing, over 7-minute, progressive pop rock epic. And then you have No Reply at All, which was a big hit, very much a Phil Collins song. Me and Sarah Jane, which is I think a lovely progressive rock tune, one of my favorite tracks on the album. Keep It Dark is this sort of repetitive bass line tune that just it kind of keeps repeating that bass line, and then other stuff happens on top of it, but it's real catchy, real punchy. And then Dodo, this would have been side 2 on the vinyl. Dodo and Lurker, which is another one of the best progressive rock sounding tracks on the album, kind of about animal rights and so forth. Who Done It is the one throwaway track. It's kind of a silly, playing with the equipment kind of nonsense, but it's kind of catchy. It's sort of a lighter moment on the album. And then you've got Man on the Corner, which is sort of a softer Phil Collins style ballad with he was really in the drum machines at the time, so you've got that I'm not sure what drum machine he used, but it's prominent on that track, and it's like good Tony Banks keyboards. And then Like It or Not, another favorite track, like a real sort of ascendant kind of rich, lush. I think it's probably a Mike Rutherford based tune. It sounds like his work. And then we finish the album with another record, which again is borderline throwaway, but I find it listenable. I always felt like the middle part of that song had a very Beatlesque flavor to it, and it's kind of appropriate to like have the refrain, put another record on at the end of the album. So that's the track rundown. But I think unlike some Genesis fans, I'm okay with Abacab. Like they moved in more of a pop direction. I think they do it so damn well. It's such a well-produced album that it's engineered by Hugh Padgham, of course, a guy they worked with a lot, and produced by Genesis. they really know what they're doing in the studio, and they kind of they're developing a formula for pop success that they're going to have a lot of in the 80s. This is probably the last great Genesis album for me. The one that follows it, the one that was just called self-titled Genesis, had the hit Mama on it, and That's All, and others. I thought, they're already starting to notch down, but, there's the other albums like Invisible Touch and so forth in the 80s. Like there's some many good moments on these albums, but the formula is really being the template is being established on Abacab. And then they're going to kind of mine that, or mint it, moving forward into the subsequent 80s albums. Anyway, let me now cut to our sound test, our listening test. And I'm really curious to see, I'm really curious to find out what you think about this and what differences you hear. And on the other side, I'll give you my overall impressions of what I think of these three versions of Abacab and which is my favorite. Okay, what did you think? Did you hear differences? I hear differences for sure. Let me start, just go in order, in chronological order. This would have come out in the 80s, the West German Target CD. I thought this was a very pleasant listen. I thought there was an airiness, there was a space to the sound, a nice bloom to the sound, like everything's kind of well-rounded and balanced, and I found it to be a very pleasurable listen overall. Like track by track, that's the feel that you get. It's not as in your face as the other editions, but I think if you adjust volume for it, it's going to be a pleasant listening experience. And then moving on to the definitive edition remaster, and I'm kind of a champion of these. I have a few others of these in my collection, not a complete run, but probably 2/3 of the definitive edition remasters. He came out in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. And when I first got this, I listened to it a lot, and I was very impressed with it. I was playing it at full volume, and it just sounded great. And here, I did most of my listening tests for this shootout on headphones, and it sounded good. It sounded really good. I thought it was maybe a bit more precise than the West German Target CD. It was punchy, clear, present. in many good ways. I do think it lost a little bit of the kind of blend and sort of full blossom type of sound that you get on the West German Target CD. It sounded a little bit closeted and it's like, if you know what I mean, just kind of everything's a little bit closer stitched together in the sound fabric. But it was not offensive at all. It was a good listen. And then we go to the, I think, somewhat controversial remixes that were done in the 2000s, this 2007 release, remix and remastered. I thought, unlike some of the other 2007 era remixes, case in point will be A Wind and Wuthering. Like this mix didn't bug me as much. Like I thought it was acceptable. I think they clearly punched up the drums. They were heavier. The vocal is a little bit heavier, more prominent. Things are kind of articulated. Things are sort of, it's definitely louder. It's a louder CD. If you look at the waveform, though, like it's not brick wall mastered, but it's louder. And when I was listening in headphones, I had it on the Marantz stereo amp, like the volume was set to -40, which is sort of my default volume, and then I adjust from there for CDs. And the first two CDs, they were pretty balanced. Like I didn't really monkey with the volume at all. This was a little louder than this one, but this wasn't as anemic and weak as I thought it might be. It was actually, they were pretty close, but they had like a little bit different flavor to them. But this remix definitely louder. So and I thought it was a little painful at that volume, -40, so I dialed it back a little bit lower, like 3 ticks lower, and it felt like it was more in the range of what these guys were sounding like. When I did the listening test that you just heard, I didn't touch the volume at all. Like it was just, everything was at -40. And I did, in post-production, when I like pulled that recording into Audacity, I normalized the volume for all the tracks, so and it really didn't change much at all. It just kind of leveled up everything, but the basic differences between the tracks was preserved. So I thought this one was, like, I guess my least favorite, the remix remaster, but it's really not that bad. And if you're into DVD extras, this is a good pick. Also, if you're talking about the booklets and the artwork and stuff, the 2007 one has the lyrics, which is a nice touch. The other ones don't. Let me double check that on the definitive edition. The West German Target definitely doesn't have it. And for the maybe you do get the lyrics on the... No, the booklet, yes you do. You do get the lyrics for definitive edition remaster, which is nice. And you also get that kind of like spread of the different albums. But then you get the variants, the variant colors that were issued with this particular album. So yeah, actually the definitive edition has a very nice booklet, so I don't think it's better. But if you want like 5.1 mix, if you want the DVD extras, then the remix is the one for you. The definitive edition is a nice package. The Target CD is pretty sparse with the booklet, so you just get this and then one spread with credits, no lyrics. And this is the image that appeared on the back of the vinyl. I think it was on the back of the vinyl, or maybe it was on the inner sleeve on the vinyl copy. That's it. But overall, if you're kind of going down to putting the 2007 remix in third place, now it's coming, these two are duking it out in my shootout. And I'd say it's pretty close. But I'm going to give the nod to the West German Target CD. I thought it was, of the three versions, it was the most, quote, musical. The music just had a bit more air and space around it. You can pump up the volume if you want more oomph to it. If you don't want to fiddle with the volume, don't want to futz with it, then you would go for the other two CDs, which definitely are punchier. And, you know, there's a kind of a more accentuated vibe. And some tracks on this album really benefit from that punchiness, like tracks like Abacab and others. But I think I'm going to give the edge to the West German Target CD. So in conclusion, all of these I think are acceptable. Definitive Edition, 2007 remix, and this oldie little OG Target CD. But they are different, but they're not like, none of them was a clunker. I'll put it that way. Now, you may differ in your opinion. That's why we have these conversations about the records that we love. So I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are. Which was your favorite? And which was your least favorite, and why? It's always good to put the why in, to sort of back up your opinion with impressions or evidence and that kind of thing. So I do hope you enjoyed this shootout. If you're, you know, a little bit wavering on Abacab, give it a chance. I was grading this morning in my job as an online college teacher, and I had a whole batch of grading to do. And I did my shootout in the headphones this morning. I just listened to the album 3 times in a row. I didn't get tired of it at all. Now, maybe that's nostalgia speaking, because I do associate this album with my senior year of high school, you know, coming of age and all that fun stuff. So it's always going to have a sweet spot for me, but I think it holds up. I like this sound that Genesis developed. Don't get me wrong, I love the vintage Genesis so much as well. But, you know, Abacab like sounded so fresh when it came out, and was like, it was cool to hear them defining like a new flavor, a new variant of the Genesis sound, and they did it really, really well. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to be back with a video again real soon. Bye-bye.